Hi guys. Uh, Now this is more or less where we left off from part one of procs and arrays. Part two involves so we have our local variable to hold the array index, just like we did in the other procs, but we also have a local variable for the largest candidate, and that's an SD word as well. It's going to be read from the array, starting with array position 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is move into the array index position 0. Or actually, I'm going to move into ECX 0 right now. Okay, and that will be, or move into EDI, the largest array. So the first thing I want to do is put the array. Okay, so array is now in a register. We want to have the array in a register. Now I don't have to actually move too much. I'm going to move into EAX. Okay, it really doesn't matter what I do to EAX as long as the largest candidate ends up at the end before the return in there. So I'm going to move into EAX. Uh, okay. Uh, I got to tell it this type of the array. So I got to say pointer SD word. So this is an array of SD words. And I'm just going to get the first item, so I just going to say EDI. That just gives me the first integer in the array. And then I'm going to move that into largest. Oh, I shouldn't name a local variable the same as the proc name. That's going to get me in trouble. So I'm going to say largest candidate. And this is largest candidate. That should keep me out of trouble that way. And dummy. Okay, say what I'm moving, EAX. So largest candidate starts with the first item in the array. Now, how I'm going to end, like I said, by moving to EAX, largest candidate. And this, I'm going to put a label here, and I'm going to say, call this label finish largest. Notice I put the name of the proc into my labels. That way I don't, because assembly doesn't really know about procs, and it will happily jump into another proc if you let it. So this will keep me from accidentally jumping into some other finish label. Actually, it'll just complain that there's two finish labels, but regardless. So why am I doing that? Because now I'm going to build the largest loop, and the first thing I'm going to do is see if I am done. So I'm going to move array into array index 1. Start with the second item number in the array. We'll start with the second number in the array, and now I'm going to write the largest loop. I think I got all my initialization before the loop. So I'm going to say this is the largest loop, and the first thing I'm going to do in the largest loop is see if the array is done. So I'm going to compare. Okay, before I do that, I want to move array, move into ECX, array index, because I need one of these in a register, and I'm going to compare ECX with largest size, and I'm going to, if ECX is greater than or equal to largest size, I'm going to go to finish largest. It's done. Okay. And what I'm doing is see if the entire array has been traversed. So here we see if the entire array has been traversed. So if the size, if the array index is greater than or equal to the size, you've gone through the whole array. Otherwise, we've got to take a look. So we're going to move EAX, the new array element, which is going to be SD word pointer. Okay, we could get an SD word, and it's going to be EDI plus 4 times ECX, the array index. You see, because the array index is still in ECX here. Now at this point, we're going to compare EAX to, and I'm going to also, by the way, this is a good time to inc array index. So we're going to increment array index. Next index. Am I going to do that? Because now I'm going to compare EAX to the largest candidate. And we're going to, if it's less than or equal to the largest candidate, the number in the array, we're going to just go back to the largest loop. Okay. Otherwise, we have a new candidate, and that's going to move into largest candidate EAX. And now we're going to go, regardless, to the largest loop. This is an infinite loop because each time we increment EAX, the array index. And so, we don't even need, we could probably do this just with ECX. But let's see, does that do everything we want? I think so. The largest loop, we have the initial, we put the first number in the array, then we go through, and then we finish largest by moving EAX into the largest candidate. And then I'm going to, so now I'm going to invoke largest, offset, always offset, int array, actual size, the size of the array, not the size of the space, but the size of the data that we filled in. And now I'm going to say now, since I haven't called any macros, EAX is safe. Once I do a CC out, EAX will be trashed. So after I do CC out or even SSTR $, EAX will no longer be there. It'll be something else. But that's all I need. CC out is the largest number. Backslash n. Let me give 2 backslash n's. And that's the program, assuming I got right. So let's first check for syntax errors. Oh, that's not going to do anything because I didn't save it. Let's save it. Now let's check for syntax errors. Probably did save it, did I? No, there's a syntax error on line 76. So on line 193, I just go, where's line 76? Line 76, I'm on line 75, so it's the next line down. It's an SD word pointer, not a pointer SD word. When I refer, this has to be an SDR pointer. In the parameters, it says pointer SD word. But when I use it in here, when I'm declaring the type in here, it's SD word pointer. Why? I don't know. But there. Now. But that's worth pointing out. So it's good that I made that mistake. Now it compiles. And then finally, we can run it. And let's see if it really runs. And to input 0, let's put 3, 9, 2, 8, 11, minus 5, 0. So I have 6 numbers in this array, and 11 is the largest number. So it works. And that is all I'm going to do with part 2 of procs and arrays.